Dear LibreOffice conference participants, viewers, colleagues, members of the community. My name is Timur Gadžo. I am engineer working in quality assurance. I'm a long-term LibreOffice user and a Document Foundation volunteer contributing in quality assurance. I'm presenting here some quality assurance experience for Collabora. There are different paths that help provide quality assurance. Some are done by devs, some in TDF, some in partner companies, or their partners of use or users. Many paths lead to Gerrit. Here we are showing some examples of how Collabora and its partners are helping fix bugs in LibreOffice technology. There are customers of ecosystem partners which may report a problem, an issue, to its own partner. Here is an example. The customer reports incompatibility between Collabora Office and Microsoft Office. After some looking into that, the issue is really about opening of rotated text and table from PPTX document, which, after again looking into the history, was fixed in LibreOffice 5.4 but regressed in 7.3. Collabora fixed that issue in 7.6 and backported it. There was a small glitch when it went wrong again, but it was again fixed soon, with more fixes for saving it in PPTX in 7.6. So what happens here is that LibreOffice does not support natively this issue, but now it supports opening and keeping of that attribute for PPTX document. During the course of solving this issue, some similar bug reports were checked for vertical text and table shape and so on. It turned out that different cases are already reported in Bugzilla, so it's only missing is only to fix them. Another example of when customers of those ecosystem partners are reporting the issue is that users were complaining that something is wrong, that all data is lost. It happened during the column width change because it was accepting invalid input, and users complained that there is a sheet corruption and all data is lost. It turned out, after, of course, an analysis, that wrong inputs were possible even from OpenOffice, but the corruption started from 6.1 and there was no undo to fix it. So it was really annoying if somebody fell into that trap. Collabora reported that to Bugzilla, and the developer fixed it there in LibreOffice. Collabora just had to additionally fix it in online part. Another example is that when users complained that they prepare a document according to their needs, but then when they open it, that it again contains the wrong font and all the time like that. It turned out that it's very old ticket with duplicates, and the bug was inherited from OpenOffice. Recently, Collabora fixed it this year for LibreOffice 24.2, but also backported it to previous versions. Another set of possibilities how to fix bugs and to collaborate really and to work together is when there are clients of customers of ecosystem partners. Like it's another multi-tier here, where there is a user who uses, in this case, Collabora Online, who sees a bug, but reports this to his or her own support company. Here is an example that it might be like Zama ticketing system or something else. That company determines that it's not a problem of their own software. It's an issue. It's an external issue. In this way, it's really an online issue, and asks its own support by submitting, let's say, ticket in OTRS. Then, when it comes to Collabora, it triages the issue. Let's assume that it's done in some other software called Fabricator. And first it does is determines if it's online or core issue. Of course, core here refers to LibreOffice technology and code. If it's core issue, then Collabora may create a ticket in Bugzilla for examples like regression, or for some larger issues, or when a discussion is needed, so on. It doesn't have to. It may contribute commits directly to Gerrit. What happens there is that a rule of thumb of Collabora is to also contribute it back to LibreOffice master, so all the development done then again stays there as open source software already in master. So what happens here? Users see a problem they have. It may be a problem with a file, which makes sense, and they report it like that. But when it comes to Bugzilla, Bugzilla is issue based, not document based. If there are multiple issues with the same document, there should be multiple tickets. Of course, after searching for possible duplicates, that's really important. So there may be multiple issues in online, in LibreOffice Kit, in core, in different LibreOffice versions, troubled fixes, regressions, and so on. Sometimes it may happen, as explained before, that the issue is in OpenXML, but the feature is even not supported in LibreOffice. So there might be a solution there with keeping attributes. So let's see some examples of this multi-tier bug reporting. Client says document has issues, we have a problem with it. Then analysis shows 3 issues. First, it fails to open, giving some error. Then with some tests it turns out that it's regression, and some it's bisected, and turned out that there is a fixing commit in 7.4 which need backport. Okay, it was nice. Then the next following issue is that out of 117 pages, LibreOffice loads only 34, which is a nasty regression in 7.4, which was bisected and soon fixed by a dev in 7.4.7, which is nice for all users of LibreOffice. Then there was a third issue, like contents of comments are missing after table of contents. Collabora reported it. It turned out that it was regression, bisected it, and fixed it. So everything was done. So with that and everything else, the whole document looked nice. Following the examples of the same multi-tier bug reporting is this. User says, I cannot work with this kind of Excel worksheets. Even though they are small of 1 megabyte size, it's extremely slow and unresponsive both during the loading and during the scroll of the page. So with the help of some profiling and frame graph, it turns out it has a few issues. Some are in online, but the biggest ones and the most important ones are in core. Multiple fixes help really make it smooth, and later on in unrelated ticket, when checked, it turned out that it was fixed, and in this case it wasn't bisected. The right person was called, Kaulan, and it turned out that is one of his fixes, that when XLSX is opened with a large number of comments, here 40,000 plus comments, its opening time went from 180 seconds to 10 or 20 seconds depending on a machine. So it's really a noticeable performance improvement. Then there is another type of closing bugs and working on bugs. It's not like a simple thing that can be fixed with one commit, even with few commits, but it's really large work that requires a lot of commits, a lot of fixes. One of the biggest in this year is example of docx opening of floating table, multi-page floating table, that annoyed many users. So originally there were 14 duplicate bug reports. After Miklos fixed some of these, he continued, and the following set of 50 plus commits covered 14 other previous bug reports and 5 newly found issues. I saw that some tickets were closed as work for me without reverse bisect, so it may be even more. There is a third now part of fixing with 7 commits at the time of recording this presentation. So with all this, it seems like the most duplicated set of issue I saw in Bugzilla, counted 38 tickets. The biggest number of duplicates according to Bugzilla report I saw duplicates was 34, and there is that report. I think it's updated, I think, regularly. So this would be very huge, a large chunk of fixes and fixing of a long-term issue, something annoying users for 10 years. But that really arises here a question: how is open source development done in a bulk? How can a large feature be done? Well, there might be some other ways, but the realistic way, and the one done here, is that it was a feature request, large feature request from a customer. There are here also some other ways, different ways of contributing to triage of development. For example, when someone out of not even working or not on the issue, searches and cleans many tickets and makes a lot of duplicates. Here is example of when Mike did it. It's really a number of tickets. Of course, I saw also Justin doing it very frequently. And then there is another type, totally another type of development, is when, while always checking and working on master, you see some the sheer quantity of checking makes you discover different things. Like here, crash on load. It's Collabora reported with a sample on bisect, and the dev fixed it in 2 days. Or another crash in calc, which already was in production in 7.5.5, which seemed very stable. But then with the help of sample bisect and a dev, it was fixed the same day and backported to 7.5.6. And there was example of crashings in GTK3. It turned out that it's not a simple thing to do, but very soon, in 2 days, it was reverted until the better solution is provided. So I cannot thank enough to all those folks here, to the mentioned ones, or to Jim or Laszlo or Kaulan, working on all this. But there is, speaking of the ways how TDF attracts developers and other folks to contribute to Bugzilla, there is a special way of like organizing LibreOffice conference, and inviting people to present there. So while preparing for a presentation, just today, I either bisected, opened two bugs, closed or tested three, encountered on or opened two. What can I say? Just no animals were harmed during the preparing a presentation, recording of video. Let me, in two closing slides, just give some overview of LibreOffice technology. There are various, of course, products based on LibreOffice technology, like Online and Office from LibreOffice or Collabora, and apps from LibreOffice or Collabora. What's important here is that tech-savvy users should always check and see if the bug exists in LibreOffice. That's the first step ever. If it exists, fine, then you simply track it or CC yourself or whatever, if not create. Only if it doesn't exist, then the Collabora bugs should be reported at GitHub, so it's second step. There is a small difference with the mobile apps. Collabora apps is different in technology from LibreOffice Viewer. So Collabora mobile apps should be reported to GitHub, and LibreOffice Viewer bugs to Bugzilla. Just wanted to clarify this, as I saw, of course, some colleagues from the community not differentiating all those things. And speaking about that, there are fresh Collabora mobile apps. The previous one was 21.11, the current one is 23.05, but just recently released in September 2023, so it's really fresh new. I invite you to test it. After the presentation, maybe I would like to conclude with speaking about the enterprise use of LibreOffice. So the classic approach is to have a conservative use of steel branch, but for even bigger companies and more serious companies, or for different other reasons, like subscription that would make additional fixes and new development. There are enterprise supported versions of LibreOffice, like the Collabora Office, which has backports of fixes from a fresh branch or master with the support, and with the assessment of which backports can be maybe troubled, so not all is backported. And with that, there is Collabora Office 2205, which is based on LibreOffice 7.3, which has different like subversions of how throughout time it changes. Current Collabora Office 2305 is based on LibreOffice 7.5. What's important here to say is that it also gets, as a stable version, some features from the following version, which at that time 2305 was not stable, like 7.6. Okay, thank you for listening and watching this one. Timur is also my name is Bugzilla, so I hope to see you there or see you somewhere else. Thank you and goodbye.